Here we are in episode 13. This is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. When you change you change everything. Last week we talked about the January effect. This week the pod is about student loans and ruined futures. The world is made by those who hustle. The world is taken by those who dream. The world is given by those who give. Here are 6 simple tips to live a life that you will enjoy for years to come. If you have bad habits, it's important to eliminate them. Otherwise, your future self will chide your current self for making bad decisions. Maybe you just know someone who's making some bad life choices and ruining their future. What are some bad life choices they or you might be making? Do you spend too much time with things? Social media, tobacco, alcohol? Do you have sex with strangers? Do you break the law in any other way? Do you even just bite your nails or focus on the short term? See what I did there? Good. I also did my research. Some of the facts, and I use that term loosely again here, come from Pearson Accelerated, CNBC, Time Magazine, BuzzFeed, Slate, and others. Those facts include, besides the obvious drag on your finances, you can plan on there being associated actions like the effect on your debt-to-income ratio, which you might not even care about in the beginning, but which will come back to smack you later on when you're going for a mortgage, for example. Arguments can be made that the impact has a greater degree on students of color, and there's no way that there can be no impact on technology and thus the future growth of society. People ask if student loans can ruin their life. They say that their child's loans ruin their lives. They ask if they risk jail by not paying, and they give examples of people who accumulated hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt before moving back in with their parents. People worry what happens if they default on their loans, or even if they care about their credit. Even Dave Ramsey has a special series called, air quotes, Borrowed Futures, a report which covers, among other things, the effects and costs of student debt. It can reduce your ability to take risks, which is key to our whole philosophy. Most important, though, is that it changes your focus onto things you don't control. But you can take heart. All is not lost. There is no, air quotes, ruined. As with any good plan, time and patience are the great fixers of everything. If there's one subject every student needs to have memorized, it's this one. Be patient. Don't worry, I'm not getting into things like budget, not yet anyway. In return, though, you have to promise to rid your head of phrases like predatory practices. Am I saying those don't exist? Not in any way, shape, or form. What I am saying is to not put your focus there. If you make that mistake, you'll hear, sorry, you haven't really made a dent in your debt yet because of the interest. No other attitude will help you toward a desirable financial future, and I say that both as a financial life coach and as a former financial planner. Heck, I know the financial hardships that student loan borrowers, actually anyone, can face. My challenge to you is to not look at such things as astronomical amounts, but simply something to overcome on your way. This is actually the greatest part of my education and of anyone's education, to not be attached to how things turn out, but to be flexible instead, and to look for the good instead of the bad. I'm reminded of an old joke about the weather where, at least in some areas, it could be said, if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes. I'll apply that here by saying if you don't like how things are going, just wait a while. Maybe that's minutes, or maybe that's years. Just like the degree in the weather, neither you or I control that, and you can take those results to the bank. The way we graduate, regardless of our age or goals, is to recognize that we can and must go beyond the common thinking. A quote I like a lot, not the least because it's mine, is, if you want and like common thinking, you have to be content with common results. Mostly, you don't have to worry, because I'm going to keep coming back to the basic themes of happiness and success over and over and over again. It's called repetition, and it works. How does this play into Simple Success? I'll tell you in a minute. Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us, please head over to https://anchor.fm/ Simple Success. That's one word, Simple Success, / support. There, you can choose from a $9.99 per month investor level of support, a $4.99% level, or a basic intro level of just 99 cents per month. That's not much when you compare it to a stockbroker, right? And this is so much more sensible. To leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast, go to https://anchor.fm/ Simple Success. Again, one word, Simple Success, / message. I won't repeat those links because weird. And anyway, show notes. In that spirit, today's episode is Student Loans and Ruined Futures. Once upon a time, and this is my favorite part of the show, a student, her name was Kelly, was walking. It was a bright sunny day. The air was fresh, just a slight twinge of crispness. In the distance rose hill after hill, which could only represent the challenges ahead. Could only? Really? You know what's coming here. Our student Kelly has had her epiphany. She's thinking past that normal state of affairs. Instead, she's thinking about a positive future. A future where there's no constricting herself to thoughts held by those who she does not wish to emulate. What you think directs what you do. So while I'm not downplaying the real pain that some people have experienced, I am saying that you can control your thinking and therefore your conclusions. Kelly has decided not to focus her thoughts on a possible future which not only doesn't exist, but is actually negative. How often we all do this. We don't have to be that way, of course, although breaking through means, to use that old phrase, becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. How we overcome that is right after the break. Let's get on with how to overcome this kind of problem, what to do and when and how to do it. Student loans and ruined futures. We're going to solve that by starting an experiment with success. We're going to start with an investment account. This is going to be a really easy one. This is a series of steps, and we're going to go through them one at a time. By the time we're done with this, you will have made a very important and positive step forward toward making this work. Get ready for this, because it means that you will actually have to take action. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to jump off a cliff. Well, not yet anyway. No 0 to 60 stuff here, but no 0 to 0 stuff either. There's a lot of people I can bring on right now who will support what I'm saying, and anytime you guys have a question or a thought or a contribution, call it in. Let us know so that we can consider it for future podcasts. You will have to get moving, and the exact steps are right around the corner. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective, coaching happiness. Since that is a big part of your happiness, I'm going to walk down another street, one without rabbit holes. Sometimes I do that by calling on expert guests, but the most important person I could ever call on is you. In this Simple Success podcast, as well as in our webinars and masterclasses, we are very, very much going to want to hear your story. Well, to be real, I mean in future episodes of the podcast's webinars and masterclasses. This means you. Your participation is critical to our mutual simple success. It's important to know how you think, what you've thought, what you've tried, and what you've been unsure of trying. As we told you at the beginning, and as you also find in the show notes, we have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know when that happens. Together, we're going to make it great. We're going to do what even we didn't think possible. We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to a podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. The reason every podcast asks you this is because when you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. This means better rankings, more attention from advertisers, more money, and that means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. There is no try, there is only do. Remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Right after this, we'll explore some more important detail you should know. But for now, use your imagination to help create your story. And to remind you, everyone listening can head to that voice message link in the show notes to record a voice message for a future podcast. Anyway, as usual, we wrap up the story with a thing for you to do. Student loans and ruined futures. Here's how we're going to do this. No, specifically, step by step. Number 1, bring up your browser. You can pause this if you need to between steps. Step 2, go to www.prosper.com. That's Prosper. One more time, www or www.prosper.com. And it probably sounds like I work for them, but I don't. This is just a really great example that I want everyone to get. Step 3, you should see quote-unquote borrow a little left of center and quote-unquote invest a little right of center. Click on invest. Step 4, after you click on invest, you'll see get started. Click on get started. Step 5, on the new page, Click on Start Investing. Step 6. Answer the prompt for your zip code. They have to know that you live in the U.S. for their solution to work. For those of you who don't, send me a message and we'll explore a solution. Step 7. Choose your account type. Pick general investment account if you want access to your money with no exceptions before you're age 59 and a half. Pick individual retirement account if you want your money to stay untouched before then, generally speaking. Step 8. Then create your account starting with your personal info. They will probably have you confirm with your smartphone and or email account, as a lot of places do. This can be a little annoying, but deep breath, it's okay. Finished? Great. Need more time? I'll wait. 3, 2, 1. What you have now is the first of many, wait for it, MSIs. Say it in your mind while I say it aloud. MSIs. Multiple sources or streams of income. I'll get into complete detail about that later. For now, just remember that this is what you absolutely must do. You'll be happy you did. There are more specifics you'll want to do with your new account, and we'll talk about that. But just getting started is the hurdle du jour. It's a great day, and we're just getting started. Next week, we're going to look at another concept, and that is income tax. Yes, I know it's April, but when I say that it got picked for me by my topics randomizer, I really mean it. It actually did happen. It really is a coincidence. Anyway, this year, due to COVID, tax day isn't until May 17th, instead of the normal April 15th. Woohoo, right? I mean, this is normally a very big deal. We're going to bring that into the world of investing. It's going to be a great episode, but for now, remember, happy Cheese Ball Day. I mean, all you need to do is practice, after which you'll get good. Gracias por escuchar. A la próxima. You're here in the Simple Success Podcast, where you've landed well in your search for financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. We come to you on a regular basis with podcasts, webinars, and masterclasses, together aimed at freeing you from the chains that the financial industry puts on all of us. Most of us don't even know what those chains are, and in this spirit, we're not going to waste time trying to solve problems people don't even know they have. Better, let's go up to common ground here. We can overcome, and we will do so. Join me for the ride of your life in a good way. For this podcast, the host and audio guy is me, John Brandy. My sequel example, and I'll explain that later, Shola, Salako, fact checker, Abraham Lincoln, French consultant, Virginia Mitchell, media expert, Favour, Obasi-Ike, psychologist, Sigmund, Freud, rabbit hole advisor, Dr. Marg, Perrott, sound designer, Gugliemo, Marconi, Spanish consultant, J.K. Brandy, and videographer, Alfred, Hitchcock. Music credit, Cute by Ben Sound from www.freesound.org.